So finally, I'm going to be talking about Flame Panda boots. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dale of Dale's Leatherworks, and in today's video, I'm extremely excited to finally be covering a brand that I almost bought myself several years ago, but backed out because the shell cordovan pair I was seeking was about 1,700 bucks from Flame Panda, and I backed out. I shouldn't have. I was stupid. But this has been obviously a brand that has long been the gold standard in the boot community. They're right up there with some of the best boot makers in the world, in my opinion. Their finishing, their craftsmanship, their quality, their discernment. They're very much a custom, bespoke shoemaker out of China, doing some of the best work on this beautiful flat earth of ours. Speaking of flat earth, what are we drinking today? Today we're drinking a little bit of Methylene Blue. Ooh, this stuff. I've been on this stuff for about a week now. And yeah, it's good. It's beautiful. Look at that. Nothing like a nice blue pigment to light up your day. Apparently this is good if you're flying. It helps with the radiation exposure, draws out radiation out of your body. Similar to activated charcoal, which I also drink. That is not dietary or health advice, by the way. I am insane. I am clinically insane. All jokes aside, this stuff is pretty good. I noticed some decent effects. It's supposed to do something in regards to like helping convert hemoglobin or something. It has something to do with your red blood cells and being able to fully oxygenate your body and increasing efficiency for oxygen delivery to areas of your body that might not always get the most. And I'll say I feel pretty good on it. I feel just overall a little bit more energized, a little bit more lively when I drink it. So I haven't been drinking a lot, just like 1 glass a day of this. 10 drops. The recommended dose is 20, but do your own research. Do your own research and then give it a try. I like it. Probably won't be on it permanently, persistently, but it's something to do for a week and then come back to it a few weeks later, you know. All right, so anyways, Flame Panda. Flame Panda is a remote shoemaker in a remote town in China. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'll just give a little bit of anecdotal knowledge that I have about Flame Panda. They've been operating for a few years now. Their popularity blew up when people started to notice the quality in their workmanship. The lead times got longer. They stopped replying to DMs on Instagram. They just got too big too quick. They weren't big enough to handle capacity. I assume they're now probably caught up, probably resuming operations as normal again. But I fully can sympathize with that, because when you're doing great work and then people catch wind of it, and especially this community, we start blowing them up with orders, which is great. I want to see Pang at Flame Panda doing good and thriving. Part of the unanticipated consequences of doing good work is that you will get a lot of work once the community learns about it. This is a Flame Panda boot is going to be in a Shinki Hikaku horsebutt, so Japanese tanned horsebutt. Now, I have a pair that I can compare this to here shortly, but before I do, I want to just give an overview into Flame Panda. I mean, wow. Their work is just unimaginably perfection. And it's not just the workmanship, it's the clicking. Every single pair that you look at, he's doing a lot of marbled shell pairs. These are in Cognac horsebutt. Huge thanks to my buddy Christian. This is the Cognac Shinki horsebutt boot on the 181 last. Another amazing creation by the master himself at Flame Panda. Shinki horsebutt, Shinki horsehide. My buddy Christian is not on Instagram, but he should be, in my opinion. Hint, hint, Christian, if you're watching this. And Christian bought these secondhand from Hides and Boots on Instagram, who you should all follow. He's got a phenomenal boot collection. And so anyways, yes, back to Flame Panda. So he's doing all kinds of crazy builds. Particularly his lace to toes have always intrigued me. Every pair is so unique, so exacting, so perfect. The clicking, the cuts that Ping is incorporating into his boots are only the best. You're not going to find any crap cuts of leather. Every boot I see is a work of art. He's incorporating all the really good character from each hide into every single boot. You will pay a little bit more, but it's absolutely worth it. If you're looking for the pinnacle of footwear, then you got to go through somebody like this, who's going to use their discernment to really put together the best tank of a boot, really take their time with it too. You can tell their thing is really taking his time with each and every pair of boots that he makes. And yeah, I'm just going to let his Instagram feed roll for a while, and you could just observe and drool as I scroll through. My key takeaway, he's doing engineers, he's doing mock toes, he's doing chukkas, he's doing service boots, lace to toes, a lot of marbled shell. You can get them to make really anything you want. You probably just got to wait a little bit. But I think where Ping really sings is with the shell cordovan and the Horserump. Now, what you're getting with Ping over some of the Indonesian makers, in my opinion, is just very, very exacting work. I love the Indonesian boot makers. I continue to support them. I continue to buy through them. The reason I haven't ordered through Ping yet is, once again, just because that price point is a little high and the wait times are kind of long. But if you're a true enthusiast, which I am, I probably owe it to Ping to place an order here shortly and get my own pair going. Let's get a look at these Cognac Horserump beauties. So these are on a Dr. Soul Original Super Grip outsole. We've got brass eyelets all the way up, a very sleek, elegant 181 last. Pretty standard build, plain toe. We've got a 270-degree Goodyear welt. This is a stitch down. It's 180-degree double stitch down, and then single row stitch down for the rest of it. Real veg tan layer for the midsole, two real thick veg tan stacks in the heel, and just a beautiful, classic type of a service boot here. Yeah, really good clicking, and then really cool character on most of the boot. Now, one thing that I always get my friends texting me about is this Shinki horsebutt, the pigments. Okay, so when they're brand new, unworn, untouched, it's just immaculate, but that immaculate appearance is kind of a facade, because as soon as they get wet, you're going to get what I call pigment drift, which is essentially the rain hits the surface of the leather, the rain absorbs in, and then what happens is the water takes some of that pigment, and the pigment migrates around and it shifts, and so you'll lose pigment. It will leave an area and percolate to another area, and so you'll have areas of lighter pigment and then really saturated areas, and that's just the nature of Shinki. And I could see that happened on the toe here. So if you get these wet at all, that's what's going to happen, and that absolutely happened. These are my first pair of nav goods in Shinki horsebutt as well. I believe this is just what they call the standard brown horsebutt, but these are pretty similar builds, in fact. So you can see that here. Very, very similar lasts. In fact, identical, I would say, almost. The last that Ping is using is a little bit, it looks like a little bit more squared off in the toe, as opposed to a little bit more almondy on the Renav goods. I believe this is the Renav goods A1 last, if I'm not mistaken. Also in a brown Horserump, and just a beautiful build. I have gotten comments like, oh, those are kind of feminine looking. I'm assuming because of the sleeker last and the Cuban heel back here, but I think they're cool. I don't wear them as much as they deserve, but I also have a pair of Renavs, a little taller, in Horween's natural double horse front killer. Essentially the same, just a little taller, and this pair has a pull tab at the top. Just to give a little idea of what you can expect from Shinki, because you can see on the toe here, I have a lot of pigment drift, and then it scratches kind of easily. So this Shinki horsebutt is absolutely stunning when it's brand new. Like on this panel, this panel is virtually untouched, but you contrast that with the back heel stay here, and this panel you see scratches, and then if you get real close, you'll see pigment drift or water spots, which I appreciate about Shinki. But just know that when you're going into getting some Shinki, it is delicate stuff. It's not delicate in the sense that it's not durable. It's delicate in the sense that its appearance is somewhat ephemeral. Unless you baby the living crap out of them and only wear them in pristine conditions and never take them on a hike and just wear them to like an office and to an urban setting, they will quickly patina. And that to me is part of the charm. I like dramatic and rapid patina, and that's what you get with Shinki. In fact, I'm wearing some Shinki right now. Viberg 2040s in a dark brown oiled Shinki horsehide. In fact, I love this leather so much that I have the same leather on these incredible Bernavgood engineer boots, 8-inch engineers on my own custom last. But I also have the same leather on these monsters. These are also my Bernavgood's boots. Some of the tankiest boots I own. As you can see, I got a lot of decent Bernavgood's collection going on over here, but this video is about Flame Panda. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to turn this into a brand comparison review. The workmanship is pretty similar. I would just say that with Peng, you're getting the premium of the most premium cuts. The guys at Renav's, they're probably, you know, trying to use the whole hide. From what I see with Peng, what I assume is happening is he's doing something similar to what Brandl is doing. Brandl is an offshoot of the NYX premium version, and essentially what Brandl is doing, the reason why their boots are triple the cost of a normal pair of NYX is because they have a metallic brass layer in the heel stack, but what actually makes their boots more expensive is they're using one hide per pair of boots, meaning they're taking the best cuts of the hide. They're discarding a lot of it, whereas a brand like Renav's, he's probably gonna, you know, try to be economical and use most of the hide. Whereas somebody like Peng, this is just my conjecture, my assumption, somebody like Peng, I think, is taking only the best cuts from the hide and incorporating that. He's probably discarding quite a bit and or selling the remainder to other makers. From what I see out of Peng, every cut is A-grade, top choice ribeye. You know, whereas guys like Renavgood's, they're using the ribeye, but they're also using the sirloin, you know what I mean? The strip steak, the churrasco, the skirt steak. They're putting most all of the hide, except for the really unusable areas, into the boot, which I do with my kilties. There's nothing wrong with that. That comes down to the discernment. But yeah, once again, with Peng, I think he's just taking and only using the best choices of the hide and putting that into his boots. And that's what I can see represented here. It's very well structured. It's got a nice veg tan insole in there, unlined, but he's making the best boots imaginable, the best boots he possibly could. And for that, I commend him. So go give Peng a follow on Instagram. I will leave a link to his Instagram in the description below, so go check that out. Additionally, don't forget to check out my website because I have a lot of kilties for sale. I have a lot of new kilties coming down the pike, including I got some natural Essex, as you can see here in my Grantstone natural Essex boots, jagged. Absolutely love the look of these, but I have a lot of Horween stuff on the way, and I have a lot of Italian, I believe they call it Fluido oil leathers, some Horween Dublin. I have some Horween Chrome Pack, Pebble Grain Chrome Pack that I'm about to release as well as soon as it gets here. So I got a lot of really fun kilties coming out here soon. So anyways, with that, I'll shut it down, and as always, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Flame Panda? I think he's cranking out just grail after grail after grail. Truly a maker that I have the utmost respect for. So, thanks so much for watching, guys. End of transmission.